I keep getting this question all the time, how to do SIP in stocks, how to create a long-term portfolio using SIP, how to buy strong stocks which are very much powerful for long-term SIP. If I'm getting salary every month, how to deploy in my core portfolio and every single month put money into the SIP stocks. How to even, think about regularly deploying those stocks in a proper way so that I can allocate properly. If you have these questions, all these questions are going to get burst in today's session. And most importantly, I'll be showing that on a SIP tool, and I'll be giving that SIP tool also as a gift to each one of you so that you can yourself calculate the allocation. You can understand how to, select 20 stocks and which all stocks you can select, in what proportion you can select, so that effectively it's a powerful SIP portfolio which can compound for you in your investing journey. So if you're all ready for this session, just type ready in the comment box and let's begin this journey. And I'll go deep dive into this topic of how to do SIP, what all are the different ways, how to select the stocks, how many number of stocks to select. And finally, we will have a entire calculation done on our proprietary SIP tool. Awesome. So first, let's deep dive into how to do SIP in stocks. Quickly starting with the disclaimer. I am a SEBI registered investment analyst, and all the discussion which we'll be doing is purely education in nature, right? So even if I'm talking about any stock ideas or any kind of names of stocks, please treat it as a illustration, not like just go tomorrow and buy them. Okay. So with that note, first question which I get very, very frequently is, what is the optimum number of stocks? How many stocks should I have in my portfolio? Whether it is 5 stock portfolio, a very concentrated portfolio, a 10 stock portfolio, 15 stock, what is like the ideal number to even have in my stock portfolio to do regularly SIP? Now, the answer to that is, it depends upon you. If you are like uh, super crazy about concentration and if you are willing to take that risk, you can even have one stock and you can compound. But then you are as good as promoter. And then what is the point being a retail investor if you are compulsorily concentrating so much when you have option to diversify? Now, somebody may say, hey, but I have zoo of portfolio. I have 50 stocks. I have 100 stocks. What to do about it? Because today's time and age, there is so much of distraction, so much of, media noise around it, a lot of people giving tips here and there, and we might end up into buying so many different things haphazardly. Okay. So how to even narrow down and whether that is the right thing or not? And to understand that, we need a right optimum number of stocks so that we can handle our portfolio effectively. Now, thankfully, there is a systematic formula to it, which I've covered in my book also. And I'll be sharing this here before even we go into the stocks and we go into the portfolio strategy and we discuss the tools and everything. So the simplest way to think about it is, you want to balance out your bandwidth and I'll just remove this. Okay, you need to remove your bandwidth and you want to minimize your risk by properly diversifying your portfolio. Okay, now this is the diagram which says that as you increase the number of stocks, like say for example, here there is one stock, your risk is too much high. Okay, so your risk is too high, and as you go down the curve, your risk kind of starts decreasing as you increase the number of stocks. Okay, so if you have 10 stocks, it's still a decent risk reward and risk which you are taking. Against that, you have decent diversification, but the sweet spot is really here. Okay, in this area, if you see beyond 20 stocks, if you focus on this area, beyond 20 stocks, the diversification benefits like almost goes to the same what you get at a 20 stock portfolio. So in my view, a maximum of 15 to 25 stocks is what ideally you should have it in your portfolio. The another reason for that is, beyond 20-25 stocks, it's literally impossible for anybody who is doing a job or a business or even full-time investors. It's not very easy to track so many companies. So if you understood how many stocks in the portfolio first place you need to have, just type super clear in the comment box so that I know that you have followed this. Okay, and if you want to again go deeper into this topic, I'll just share a reference video for this, which is where I have discussed this entire deep dive. How to outperform Nifty returns. You can simply search like Vivek Mashrani, how to outperform Nifty returns, and you'll get a detailed deep dive inside what should be the breakup and how should you structure and all sort of those things. Now let's come to the topic of how to build a SIP portfolio. Okay. So first thing first, I'll share the Excel copy here so that all of you can understand uh, what is important in building your stock portfolio and what are different ways to go about it. Let me share the screen and hopefully it should be visible. So hope all of you are able to now see the Excel window which is here. Okay. So if you see Excel window, let's assume that we are building a 20 stocks SIP portfolio. Okay, so we want to go optimum number, which is 20 number of stocks. I'll share which kind of companies and how to build that list and how to monitor them and all those sort of those things. I'll cover it. Those who are my community members, you might have seen this very frequently. We have been discussing this ample number of times. Okay. So one way to build a 20 stock portfolio is whatever amount you have, you divide it equally. Okay, now if this is the scenario A you are taking, how to build the portfolio. Okay, so this is like equal SIP scenario. So for that, what we have done is we have created an equal SIP calculator, and this also can be pretty much useful for everyone. Okay, now all the cells which are yellow, okay, this is what you need to fill. So say for example, you want to create a portfolio of say 10 lakh rupees. Okay, you want to create a portfolio of 10 lakh rupees. And you say that, hey Vivek, I'm fine with building portfolio slowly. I want to build it in next 12 months. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll put 12 months over here. Maximum you should put 12 because within a year you should be easily able to build the portfolio. And how many stocks you want to choose? Let's say you say, Vivek, I want to choose 20 stocks. So what will happen is it will calculate automatically how much is the amount you need to put in every stock and what is the percentage allocation you are doing. So meaning if you are doing 20 stocks, which means 100% divided by 20, it is 5% allocation. Now instead of 20, if you are doing 14 stock, it will automatically adjust the allocation, that is around 7% in each of the company. So it's a very, very dynamic list. And if you can see, our team has done a very, very powerful job in terms of this number also gets automatically adjusted. So if I make from 14 to 10, if you see the change, automatically the number of companies will become 10 over here. Okay, and as soon as you enter the names, you can even put the names over here. So automatically the names and everything will get changed also. So in the formula you can just change whatever company you have, you just change the name of it and your company name will also come in. So say for example you want to make this Cipla, or you want to make it Titan, whatever name you want to put it, that you can pretty much put it. So every month it will tell you how much amount to put it, and in the end it will say that, hey, your total amount whatever you wanted to put, so 10 lakh you wanted to put in 12 months, now pretty much 10 lakh is deployed and this is the allocation per stock. Okay, so this is the allocation per stock, and monthly how much you need to put, 83,000 kind of SIP you need to do to build this portfolio, right? That is very simple. Like if you want to put 12 months, you want to put 10 lakh rupees, your SIP amount is pretty much that. Now say for example you say, hey Vivek, we want to build a portfolio faster. Say instead of 12 months, I want to build it in 6 months. Okay, I want to go faster, and that is perfectly fine. So I'll just make this 6 months, and voila, what has happened? The other month has got grayed out. It has automatically taken only 6 months, first 6 months, and it has only taken the first 10 stocks which are there. By the way, I'm going to share this entire Excel to all of you during the video. Okay, so just hang on. I'll be sharing at an appropriate time. But it is like magical. We have like fully automated this SIP tool to give you the best value of what you are doing in terms of your SIP. So this is where you can actually change the number, and automatically now you can see your allocation has increased. So from 8,300, you need to put double the money because you want to create it faster. Now let's say if I want to make here 15 stock portfolio. So if I change that, automatically, my portfolio will dynamically change to 15 stocks, and my amount will also accordingly change. Okay. So this is how powerful it is. Okay. So you can pretty much, if you are doing a monthly SIP and if your mindset is that if I want to allocate equally between all my stocks, you can pretty much do it with a very, very simple ease and simplicity. Now the question is, should we even do equal amount of SIP? The answer is yes and no. Yes, if you are too busy and if you are fine with the average return, but if you want to maximize the return, the game is not just in stock selection. Of course, the stock selection is very important, and in my stock screening video, I've covered that. So if you do fundamental stock screening, I've covered the process how you can fundamentally screen good stocks, how you can create a good portfolio, and from time to time we have been discussing a lot of stocks. So if you had checked my earlier video, which was Modi 3.0 stocks, I've covered a lot of sectors which are upcoming and what are the focus area of government. So of course, stock selection is great. Okay, so you need a good strategy for stock selection. But what I'll show you now is that stock selection alone is not important. Okay, there is something beyond stock selection which you need to focus on. So let me share the screen again and let's understand this math. Okay, and by the way, guys, once you get this Excel, I've shared all the details, how to, access everything and what is the process to use it. Everything is covered there. Okay. So once you get the Excel, you can download it and get all the details. Now, say for example, you have a portfolio of equal allocation. So you selected 20 stocks, equally you put it 5% into each of the stock. Now, what will happen is, say a few stocks will perform really well, right? So few stock has become 100%, few 90%, some 80%, and so on and so forth. Few did not move much. So it was like, on an average, it gave break even or 5-10% kind of return. And some stocks really went down very big. Okay, and that can pretty much happen. It is stock market. So what has happened is, if you see the portfolio returns, this stock has contributed 5% return because it has 100% move. So 5% has become doubled. So 5% it has moved the portfolio. The second has moved the portfolio by 4.5% and so on and so forth. But net, if you see, because you have an average allocation, your overall portfolio returns are only 5%. Now let me give you some powerful thing, okay, here. Imagine, instead of blindly doing SIP in an equal amount, which generally people do, right? If you have put a simple thought process, which is whichever stock has performed good, which has stock has started giving you returns, you add more to it, and if that has not given returns to you, you don't allocate more to it. Okay, meaning what we are doing is, we are doing this SIP not in an equal amount of portfolio, but what we are doing is, we are adding more amount to our winners, right? So where there is more winners which are there, we are putting more money into it. Okay, so that is how we have changed the SIP style. Now, with this small tweak, what will happen is, this allocation will happen. So ultimately what will happen, your winners will start getting more allocation than 5%, and your losers, you will not add much amount. Okay. Now, because you are doing monthly SIP, this is very, very easy. So what you do is, if your returns are not great, you don't add to it. If your returns are increasing, you add more to it. Okay, simple strategy, nothing complex, very, very simple, powerful. But now what has happened is, now your biggest winner has 15% allocation. It has still done 100%. So what has happened is, your portfolio return contribution from that winner is 15%. Just that one winner is contributing 15% to your portfolio returns. Second winner is contributing 13.5% and so on and so forth. And because you have just made this small tweak, instead of 5%, your return has become 10 times more, that is 52%. So almost 10x jump you can make in the returns by having the same stocks, same 20 SIP stocks, in a much, much powerful way. Getting it? And if you do the reverse, right, which is what most people do, this foolishness, what they do is, if the stock starts getting downwards, they will add more to it. So all these, laggards which are falling, they will add more allocation to it, which is called averaging down. Okay. And ultimately what will happen, those stocks will contribute to heavy negative returns, and instead of positive 5% return, they are getting minus 42% return. Okay. So now are you all able to understand how a small tweak in your SIP can completely change your game? So if you are monthly allocating, you add more to your winners. Okay. This exercise of choosing top companies in our community, we do through exercise called core portfolio blueprint, and we have a implementation program called hackathon. So we pretty much do that hackathon. If you are part of my community, you might have seen how we do hackathon, and we basically boil down to a list of such 20 companies, and then this allocation is the game. Now for allocation also, the starting point is, of course, while we select these companies, is fundamentally strong stocks, how to pick up fundamentally strong stocks, and then we play on the technical side. But before that, let's understand this principle, what we have actually thought about it and what we have just learned. Okay, so if you think about it, this is what Peter Lynch has been saying about this capital allocation, that it's easy to make a mistake and do the opposite. Putting out Pulling out flowers, which is like your good winners, you pull it out, and watering the weeds, which is putting more money into something which is going down, which is what I explained you just now. If you are lucky enough to have one golden egg in your portfolio, it may not matter if you have a couple of rotten inside it, which means, like from the Excel which we learned, like say if you have couple of big winners, okay, it doesn't matter if you have some small losers also, because if you see, it is only last 4 5 stocks are only dragging you by 3%, but your top winners are dragging you much higher. And let's say you have a portfolio of 6 stocks, two of them are average, two of them are below average, and one is a real user. But if you have one stellar performance, your Coca-Cola or Gillette or your Asian Paints or your VBL, whatever stocks it may be in your portfolio, a stock that reminds you why you invested in first place, to compound your money. In other words, you don't have to be right all the time to do well in stocks. If you find one great growth company and own it long enough to let the profits run, the gains should more than offset the mediocre results other stocks in your portfolio given. Essentially, what he's saying is you keep adding more to your winners, and it doesn't matter even if the losers have a tiny allocation, even if they are in your portfolio. Okay. Now, how to do this? Are you all ready to do this in an automated way using the Excel? And I'll give you one more strategy, which is what I use, what I call as pyramid strategy. Now, what is pyramid strategy and how to use it? So, pyramid strategy is like just like how pyramid looks like. Okay. So, if you've seen the Egyptian pyramids, they are slightly wider at the bottom and then they go narrower. Now, in the stock portfolio also, rather than doing an equal amount of SIP, what we'll do is we'll have slightly more amount allocated at the bottom. Then as we go on, we narrow down, then we narrow down, and then we narrow down. Why we are doing this is because if suddenly there is a stock price fall, will not get butchered in a big way from the top side of it. Okay, so this is where we will learn about how to use this pyramid strategy instead of the regular equal amount of SIP, and also we'll learn about how you can average up only to those stocks which are moving higher. So if you are all ready for this, just type BIO, bring it on in the comment box, and I'll also share the link of this SIP calculator so that you can download it simultaneously. I've shared this in the description box also inside my YouTube if you are part of my YouTube channel. It's there in the chat section also if you have checked it, and you can just put this URL also on your browser, technofunda.co/SIP tool, okay, so that you can download this. So I'll just keep it like this so that you can download it. Meanwhile, let's go to the average up SIP Excel. Okay, this will blow away your mind literally. Okay, so let me share the screen. And what we have done here is this. Okay, are you all able to see my Excel? Just type yes if you are able to see. And by the way, if you are liking this video and something really different you are seeing than what you see in other channels, just hit the thumbs up so that I know that you are liking it so far. Now, what I'll do is I'll share this strategy in a very simplified way. Let me explain you what we are doing here. So say for example, you want to put same 10 lakh rupees. Say instead of 1 crore which is here, I want to deploy 10 lakh rupees. And I want to put it into 20 stocks. Okay, so automatically as in the first sheet, the 20 stocks has come up. Now what I want to do is I want to do 5 tranches. So instead of say equal amount of 1% every single month, I want to put slightly different amount. Okay, so I want to build my portfolio in 5 months, but I want to deploy a different percentage. I want to pyramid in terms of percentage. So what I'm doing is at the bottom, I'm putting it heavy. Okay, the bottom of the pyramid is heavy. So I'm putting 25% here. The next bottom, I'm putting again a layer of 25% of this entire amount. Then I'm putting 20% layer. Then I'm putting another 20% layer. You can even tweak it. So all these yellow buttons which are there, you can play around. So if you want to say, you want to do 4 tranches, okay, and you want to do like 25%, 25%, 25%, and 0%, you can do this. Okay, so this is like your 4 tranche equal tranche portfolio, you can build it. Say you want to do 25%, 25%, then 20%, then how much percentage is less? Say 10, 20%, and then 10%. This is also fine. If you want to do this again, say you want to do last to 15 and 15, you can even do that. Okay, so this Excel is made in such a way that it is fully dynamic. You change any of the yellow cells and it will automatically adapt. Okay, so now what we are doing essentially is, say if I want to put 20 stocks in my first tranche. Okay, so like total I need to put 5%, because 20 stocks, if I want to put equally, it is to 5%. So 50,000 in every stock I want to put ultimately when I'm building the portfolio. Now this 50,000, I'm not constraining it by 5 months or 2 months or 3 months. Why? Because I want to pyramid and I want to only average up when it moves up. So let me show you an example. So what we do is, inside our community, we use this tool called Shaktiman for all the core portfolio companies. And I've just taken hypothetical illustrations over here. So say for example, this page industry, I'll just hide this tool thing so that all of you can see this clearly. So say for example, this page industry, it started going down. Now this is like almost like a loser, right? It has gone down by 30-40%. So I don't want to add this, because if I'm adding this stock again and again while it is falling, it is essentially averaged down. So if I'm doing SIP in this stock, I need to either exit here, and even if I'm not exiting, at least worst thing I should do is not average down, right? So I'll not average down over here. So this stock, when it is not moving up, you have added say first tranche for example, but then it has not given you any further entry signal. So you don't add any stock over there. Now let's say instead of this you had Titan, which is your stock 2, and you entered your first tranche over here. So say for example, you started your portfolio building SIP here, you added your first tranche here, next month it became new high and it went higher, you added another tranche. Let's say here you added another tranche, here you added another tranche, and here you added another tranche. Okay, so this way, whatever was your winner, which moved in your favor, you wanted to add the tranche very fast. Same way, if say you have VBL and VBL moved really fast. So in this case, I want to pretty much average every single month because it is moving in my favor and it is becoming a winner. Now say for example, TCI Express, I took it and say I started building a portfolio here and then my exit triggered. So I might either exit, or at least worst case, I don't add anything. So then I'll not add any tranche further. So my first tranche will remain as it is. Either I'll exit, or worst case, I'll just keep it as it is, whatever I have. Are you getting me what I'm talking about, and is it making sense? Is it connecting your dots? Okay. So this Shaktiman indicator we have for all our premium members who use it, and they basically get idea about their core portfolio exit and entries and all those kind of things. Now let's come back to the Excel again. Okay. So now essentially what I'm doing is, this is say for example, my first stock, which is say my Titan. Okay. Let's say it is my Titan. And Titan, in January, I entered my first tranche. Okay. Then February, entered my second tranche. Then March, I entered my third tranche. See, April, I entered my fourth tranche. And my fifth tranche, only in October, I got the opportunity to add, because till then it started going sideways or it was flat. So this is how you need to just input the tranche number. Whatever month you want to add a tranche to any stock, whether it is company 1, 2, 3, whatever company you want to add, you just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over there. Now magic has happened here. So what has happened in January? See, when we are starting off, we keep first tranche in all the companies. Okay. So when we are starting to build, first month is equal tranche 1%, 25% of the overall allocation we are straight away putting in. But the next month we are only adding to winners. So Titan, it is added here, then the third tranche is got added here, fourth tranche is added here, and fifth tranche is also added here. And finally, whatever was your final allocation, 50,000 rupees per stock, that is fully allocated. So you are getting that now delta is zero. So your entire stock portfolio for that allocation has been built. For Titan, it is done and dusted. Okay, so it will become zero. Now, say for example, if there is any room for any other stock, okay, so it will show you that, okay, here 15,000 more rupees needs to be added. Okay, so say for example, you have done here first tranche, second tranche, third tranche, then probably fourth you need to do here, and say fifth you can do it here. Okay, whatever month it is coming up, and it will now show that it has become zero. Now it is fully allocated. Now what if you are adding more capital in the journey, right? So say your first level portfolio is built, but then you are getting regular salary and regular savings, and you want to add more amount to that. So what you can simply do is, instead of say 10 lakh, if your incremental amount is 2 lakh rupees, you got it as a cash. So you simply make it as 12 lakhs. So what will happen is, it will show you that now your per stock allocation should be 60%. So what you can do is, wherever your 50,000 rupees was there, you add 10,000 rupees more in a equal proportion into those stocks. So it is pretty much dynamic. If you have your salary increase, or if you want to put more money, or if you want to tweak anything, you can change it. Now suppose you have exited one or two stocks, right? So say 19 and 20 stocks you exited, it did not work in your favor. So you can change the number of stocks to 18, and then your entire allocation and everything in terms of math and everything will automatically change. And even if you have allocated to some of the stocks, it will say that, hey, you need to allocate more into these stocks. Okay, so this way it is like a fully automated averaging up SIP. So what will happen is, you will play this math. Okay, so you will pretty much play this math where you are adding more to your winners, and your returns will become 10x from where it is, by just focusing more on winners and focusing less on losers, or even exiting those losers. Okay, so this is the game which we are playing, guys. So hope this video was useful. And if you have not watched our earlier video, we have done a very powerful video on how to screen stocks. You can go through it. And there is a very, very powerful video, like in terms of the focus of government, where Modi 3.0 focus is there, and what all sectors and stocks can benefit, is also covered very, very recently. You can go through it. And if you have not yet experienced our session, a workshop which we do, you can just jump into this session, which is called technofunda.co/webinar. I've given the link in the description also, where we will be learning for free how to build a buy, add, sell system. Okay, so on the top of it, what you need to do is build your buy, add, sell system. If you have any question, please let me know, so that I can answer your questions, and uh, you know give any feedback or any suggestions you want to for this. And if you have what do you say if you have already downloaded this Excel, just type done in the comment box. If you're not downloaded, I'll just give you the link so that you can download this Excel. It's also there inside the description link. Okay, so let me take a question from Deep Das. So Deep is asking that, if for company 1 it is increasing, and we have used 4 tranches already, and still it goes higher, same time other one is going down. Okay, so in that case, company 2, if it is flat, shall we add more tranches to company 2? Yes, of course. So if you have exited any company, or if you are not allocated more, and if there is a free capital, you can always allocate more. That is what I showed in the last scenario. Let me share it again. So what you can do here is, say for example, what you can do is, say for example, this you have exited, okay, and your capital is freed up. So you can add this, you can reduce this number of stocks. So say for example, two more stocks have got reduced, okay. Say 17 and 18 I've booked out, and I'll put this 16, and because of that booking out, probably my capital has gone down. Instead of 10 lakh, it has become 9 lakh 60,000. So that scenario also we can play it here. So say if your capital has gone down from 10 lakh by 40,000, then you will know what is the new allocation. And that way, if you are over allocated also, you can tweak it. You can change it based on the math which is showing here. Okay, so this is where it is very, very flexible. And even if you want to change this allocation, say you want to make this 20, you want to make this 10, automatically your tranches and everything will dynamically change. So this is like a very, very fully automated Excel SIP tool which is there for you, which you can leverage here. Okay. If you have any other question, let me check it out. Awesome. Yes, ride winners, if you are a member, you can access this for 199 per month plus GST only. Okay, so become part of our community, and ride winners tool, we can use it at a very, very discounted rate. Yes, superb. Okay, so if you have done downloading, just type done in the comment box. And finally, one more thing I want to share it with you is, if you have never read my books, we have a two bestseller books which we have published. Okay, so we have You Can Compound and Action. These are two powerful books which are out in the market for personal finance and investing. So please make sure, if you want to read this, check it out and let me know how did you find. And also let me know how did you find this video, so that I can make more of this. So just hit a like button, or subscribe button if you loved this video, and hope this was useful. Hope this Excel is very, very powerful in your whole investing journey. Thanks a lot for joining to this video. Wish you all the best, and we'll see you in the other video. Until then, keep compounding, and see you soon.